Have you ever poured your heart and soul into an essay only to get to the end and it just fizzles out? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, in this explainer, we are going to fix that. We're going to show you how to transform that final paragraph from a weak afterthought into a powerful, unforgettable statement. Let's dive in.
So let's start by talking about a problem that pretty much every writer runs into. You get to the end of your essay and you just hit a wall. The words stop flowing. Why is the conclusion so ridiculously hard to nail?
You know the feeling, right? You've spent so much time and energy crafting this amazing introduction. You've built up all your arguments in the body paragraphs. You've laid out all your evidence, and then you reach the finish line, and it just feels like you've completely run out of gas.
This right here, this is the thought that gets us stuck. You genuinely feel like you've made every single point you needed to make. There's nothing left in the tank. And look, it's a super common feeling, but it's exactly this mindset that leads to a really limp, unsatisfying ending.
And here's the real danger. If you rush that conclusion, you can actually sabotage your entire essay. Seriously, it doesn't matter how brilliant your arguments were. A weak ending can leave the reader feeling let down and even make them doubt everything that came before it.
Okay, so let's move on and completely debunk the single most common piece of advice you've probably heard about conclusions. And honestly, it's the worst advice, this idea that you should just summarize everything. This really shows you the disconnect, right? We're taught to just list our main points again. But put yourself in the reader's shoes. They're thinking, yeah, I just read all this. Why are you telling me again? Do you think I have no memory? A simple summary just doesn't add any real value. It feels kind of lazy. So, if a boring old summary is out, what do we do instead? Well, there's a much better way. It's an elegant, powerful method that actually mirrors the very beginning of your essay. It's all about bringing your whole argument full circle. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it is a total game changer. You want to create a really satisfying sense of closure by connecting your conclusion right back to your introduction. It's like you're tying a perfect bow on top of your essay. It feels deliberate and complete. Now, to get how this works, let's just quickly jog our memory on how a typical introduction is built. You start with a hook to grab your reader, right? Then you add a few sentences to lead them to your main point, and then, bam, you state your thesis. Simple enough. Now, I want you to hold on to this structure because we're about to flip it on its head. Okay, this is it. This is the heart of the whole explainer. A simple three-step formula that basically creates a mirror image of your introduction. This is your new blueprint for writing a conclusion that actually has an impact. So, check this out. Your conclusion is pretty much the intro, but in reverse. You're going to start by revisiting that opening hook. Then, you'll restate your thesis, but you're not just going to copy and paste it. You're going to rephrase it with all the new insight your essay has provided. And then, you finish with a final, powerful thought. We're calling this the twist. So what does revisit the hook actually mean? It's really straightforward. You just remind the reader where this whole journey started. If you asked a question in your intro, now you answer it. If you used a surprising statistic, maybe offer a related one that shows the outcome. This immediately signals we're nearing the end and gives them that satisfying full circle feeling. All right, the twist, this is your final knockout punch. This isn't about throwing in new facts. No. This is about elevating your entire argument. You can connect your topic to a bigger, universal idea. You can leave the reader with one last powerful statement that will stick in their head. Or you can even challenge them directly to think differently or do something. This is the part that shows why your essay truly matters. Okay, so now you have the formula for what you should put in your conclusion. Let's talk about the final polish, which is all about what you absolutely have to leave out. These are the things that would just kill your otherwise powerful ending. First things first, please, can we all agree to banish these phrases from our writing forever? In conclusion, to summarize, they're just unnecessary filler. A well-written conclusion doesn't need a giant signpost telling the reader it's the end. Your writing should make that totally obvious. And you have to avoid these common traps. These are the 4 cardinal sins. Number 1, don't suddenly introduce new evidence or a new idea. 2, don't contradict your thesis. 3, don't change it either. It just makes you look like you don't even believe your own argument. And finally, never, ever apologize for your ideas. You need to own your points with confidence right to the very last word. So at the end of the day, here's the real takeaway. Your goal isn't just to stop writing. It's to make your essay memorable. You want to leave a lasting impression that makes your reader keep thinking about your ideas long after they've put the paper down. So, the next time you're writing an essay, don't just go on autopilot and summarize. I want you to try this full circle formula. Revisit that hook, restate your thesis with new confidence, and end with a killer twist. The real question is, how are you going to challenge your reader and make your argument impossible to forget?